So I'm Nicholas Spiro. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer representing Viral Nation here. And our panel's on the evolution of brand experience. So as consumer expectations continue to evolve, it's up to brands to think about how they create meaningful, memorable experiences across every touch point. We're going to look through technology, data, and creativity lenses and the backdrop of CES. And kicking it over to Jake for the panelists to introduce themselves.
Jake Schneider, I lead marketing for Gold's Gym, your favorite gym's favorite gym.
Yeah, definitely is.
Hi, everyone. My name's Bess Montecalvo. I lead our global marketing from a field perspective, as well as our operational support team.
Hey everybody, my name is Saverio Spontella. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at a company called Lando Frost, not to be confused with Lando Lakes. We are a food company. We make fantastic products such as lunch meat, bacon, and hot dogs. I have the privilege of overseeing their marketing, sales, and category management and R&D functions. Pleasure.
Nice. Welcome, welcome. A lot of brain power up here. So we're going to start with the topic of experience being the product. We know from CES that brands are increasingly showcasing systems and ecosystems, not just one-off products. 73% of consumers say experience is a key factor in purchasing per PwC, behind only price and product quality. So to the panelists, where does your brand experience begin? Is it before or after someone buys, or something in between?
What take it?
From a travel perspective, 1,000% before anything happens in those four walls of a hotel. With the emergence of zero-click, LLMs becoming a huge piece of the consumer journey, we are looking at a time of hundreds, if not thousands, of websites and clicks that you're doing before your experience even truly begins in the physical state. So it's absolutely game-changing what's happening right now, at least in the hospitality space.
Yeah. Similar in the food industry, it definitely happens before. And for us, it's really about developing that confidence for our shopper, for our consumer, to make that decision to purchase our product super easy for them. So it absolutely happens via our advertising, whether it's on TV, whether we're doing paid social, whether we're on retail media. It is important that we're conveying what's important to make that shopper feel good about the decision they're going to make to feed their families throughout the course of the school week. So absolutely before, but then I'll also add to that, it goes all the way through as well as to the food itself. So then the brand experience comes through with the product for us as well. So when they're having that product for the first time and they're opening up that package and they're actually tasting the food, also just as important to kind of really build that confidence to make sure that they're coming back for more next time.
Yeah. And what's an experience that consumers taste that's not traditional marketing or advertising that the audience might not be thinking about with any of your products or services?
Try it again. Let me make sure I got that.
Yeah.
What's one experience that you think consumers get for your brand that's not marketing, not advertising, word of mouth, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll tackle back that to the actual experience of the product itself. So, even our packaging, what you see on shelf, making sure that we're really calling out those most important RTBs for that product is part of the experience. So we know we're in this mega protein environment. We've been for a long time, but are we calling that out the right way in a GLP environment? Are we calling that out properly, that this is a great source of protein for you as an individual? Absolutely. So that's part of the experience that may not necessarily come through in our marketing, but we're definitely conveying that through other touch points like our packaging.
100%.
So much of ours is kind of an emotional decision and feeling, and it starts way before. I mean, we're in the height of our season right now with New Year, New Me, but New Year, New Me started the minute people started to back away from the Thanksgiving table. They're like, oh, I've got to get in the gym. I've got to, start exercising, and next year will be the year. And so, and then by the time Friday comes, which is National Quit Day, we have to keep that experience going to bring people in and prove that out. So there's a huge amount of runway. It doesn't start at check-in. It doesn't start with, let's take a trip. Where do we want to stay, or what do we want to eat? It in a lot of cases, it's more of a feeling and an emotion that sparks the decision to then do all of the searches and catch the LLMs.
Completely agree.
And that's a good segue to the second topic. We want to talk about humanity. So AI, data, automation, obviously those are dominating the conversation and thought leadership at CES. But we think brands win when the tech amplifies humanity and doesn't replace it. 64% of consumers say they trust brands less when interactions feel automated or impersonal, which we all experience with content we consume. Where do you all think technology has improved the humanity of the experience of your business?
I can start. You know, when we're talking about a really authentic, really less programmatic feel in a hotel, you know, it all starts with feeling understood. And so there's a 1-2 punch that can happen from a technology standpoint. We can understand what your preferences are, how many times you've stayed, what are your key selling attributes as a consumer. That's all great and can be powered through AI systems and tools, but making sure that's showing up authentically is where the humanity piece comes in.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't feel too big brother. It doesn't feel too scripted. There needs to be sort of this balance that happens in our space. And it's a tricky line, right? Of not overdoing it or underdoing it. But really leveraging the power that AI can get you to, and then what is the human part, that second 1-2 punch come in to really drive home and create a memorable experience.
It's interesting because in hospitality, for me, it's definitely the details. When I walk in, when my name's up there, the TV hustling with me, it does feel more human. My connection with the brand, and they're trying hard to make my stakes like positive experience. Yeah.
Well, show that you know me.
Yeah. Yes.
Right, and that you see me.
Yes.
And then validate that. It's for us, and most likely for you, you're continuously proving trust over and over again.
That's it.
And so whether it is, you know, you're working out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every day, you have to be able to know that. And then as a brand, you also have to be able to know the culture as well.
That's right. Means nothing if your name is on a TV in the room and you come down and you have to say everything over again to a front desk agent, right? So it's connecting those two pieces in a seamless way.
Yeah. Well, what's the point of collecting all this data if you don't use it to form and shape a relationship?
Exactly right.
And I'd imagine fitness is a category that's people are vulnerable. Yeah. People are feeling very vulnerable about being there in public or observed or getting started or quitting.
It's vulnerability, it's body and trust, not a commodity. And so, you know, for us, it starts a long way away at that emotional moment, but then you also have to look at, you know, what is from the point that they hit join and walk in, what is the experience, and how are we continuously improving it, making sure that they are active and engaged and, you know, leaning in and being supportive. It's a community.
Has anyone had an experience where personalization went too far or became creepy?
It's more noticeable when personalization is non-existent.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm not a fan of is when my wife and I are having a conversation about name your purchase, name your topic, and next thing you know, you're on social and there's an advertisement for it.
It's always that.
I mean, we literally were talking about buying a mattress this past weekend, and sure enough, there's the ads, not just from one manufacturer, 2, 3 different manufacturers. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So that's where it feels, even for me, I know I'm in the game, but that feels creepy. Right?
So you think the phone's listening?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, and again, I get it, but that's where, you know, it is a fine line. You're walking a fine line there, and we try to balance that on our end. You know, we can reach our consumers in so many ways now, and we do, but it is walking that fine line to not to make it too personal, not make it creepy.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to community. So We know from Harvard Business Review survey data that brands with a strong sense of community in their audience see up to 37% higher customer retention. And at CES, we increasingly see brands showcasing platforms and communities, not just an individual user. And in our space, creators have been doing this for years. So where does your brand create a sense of belonging, not just utility?
You know, I'll start with Hyatt. Our purpose, and it truly is something that embodies everyone from the corporate office to the hotels themselves, operators, you name it, is to care for people so they can be their best. And understanding the audiences that you're talking with that have shared values, that want that sense of belonging, right? No matter what the travel purpose might be. It might be for good reasons, not so good reasons, business reasons, we never know. So that sense to be plugged into that idea of shared values, this place where you can feel safe, feel connected, let your guard down. And oh, by the way, then how can we take that up a notch and make you feel seen and heard? Right? That's the biggest piece of community to me in my world, is feeling seen and feeling heard.
Yeah,
And we try to impart that
I love
through our
that.
purpose of care.
Jake?
A lot of us in our industry, it comes down to programming, right? And to your point, understanding, because there is that vulnerability, and I love the word belonging as opposed to community. That sense that I belong to this gym, or I belong to this loyalty program or whatnot. And if you have the right programming that helps people feel seen and heard, because everybody is at the gym for a different reason. Maybe I need to come in and push back a little on what's been pushing against me. Maybe I just want to get a good sweat in. Maybe I just want to release. It's it is very easy and sometimes lazy to kind of retreat back to work out together alone.
Yeah.
Right. And so how do you connect people? And gyms specifically for Gen Z in particular have become more social spaces. People are skipping the bars and they're going to the gym between 4 and 9 on Friday and Saturdays instead to meet people. They're challenging themselves. They're putting goals together. And so we need to resource that, not be the platform for that, but resource based on what their goals and opportunities are.
Yeah. I do think the word belonging, you belong to a gym. It's such an interesting word that was selected by us to designate that kind of community. Saverio?
Yeah, I want to just a similar analogy to build off Hyatt, and it's similar to a food company. We have our purpose, and our purpose is what we like to say is to make each day more fulfilling than the last, and that's with regards to our consumer and the food that we make. It's regards to the community that we serve and the initiatives that we're involved with, and it's how we take care of our employees. We want each day to be even better than it was the day before, and so from a food standpoint, we target not all of our consumers. We have different consumer segments, but one key consumer segment is that family that is really trying to stretch their dollars, their budget conscious, their time stamp or strap, excuse me, and they're consumers that are looking for that easy decision. What can I feel good about feeding my family? And those are the products that we offer. From a community standpoint, you'll see that we're involved in these fantastic initiatives across the country. We have our corporate social responsibility report, where it showcases how we're involved in juvenile diabetes and youth sports. And we don't necessarily do that to give ourselves a pat in the back. We actually are attached to that for a number of reasons. As a family-owned company, there's personal reasons why we're involved in those initiatives.
Yeah.
But it's something that makes our consumer and our broader community know that we're more than just this big, corporate company that's out there. So I think that purpose is so important.
Yeah. You make goods that families enjoy together.
Absolutely.
So I can see that. I have to ask about the social aspect. How do you think creators or even trainers, chef, staff, employee of the hotels become brand ambassadors? How do you use them or think of them as representing your brand?
We have a saying, everyone is on the brand team, right? You are representing the core culture, our values every single day. And if they don't feel connected to that, meaning our guests, our customers, etc., then we haven't done our job, right? Everyone, regardless of their title, regardless of their tenure, is on the brand team at Hyatt.
Yeah, I think for us, we really have tapped in to the world of influencers. nothing new there, but it is about finding those influencers that really are authentic and resonate with the brand. And consumers want to see that content, and they want to see it in a real way. We won't tell our influencers, we'll give them some guidelines, but we're pretty much telling them, show us, film yourselves on how you actually use that product, make it real. This is not going to be polished. And that has been so effective for us in just delivering that authenticity with our shopper, with our consumer. I mean, if you're on TikTok, you don't, for the most part, you don't want to see a really polished brand ad.
Yeah.
You want to see something that's real and authentic. And our influencer, call it brand ambassadors, has been just such a fantastic way for us to generate that awareness of our brand and our product.
That's music to my ears, because that's the number one mistake that we hear brands making, is they're throttling the superpower of the creators or any brand ambassadors by being over perspective when the consumer wants to probably buy from a human, not a brand. So,
and we'll definitely look at the content before we polish.
Okay.
Before we publish it, but
good to know.
But yeah, for the most part.
But everybody wins when you let them in.
Yeah.
And you're making the employees part of it because they're already part of the experience. And one of the things that I find really endearing and motivating about Gold's is one of our co-CEOs. He started as a front desk employee at our College Station gym, then became a personal trainer, then became a head of operations, and is now co-CEO. It's the only job he's ever had, and he treats the experience in the gym so meticulously around that, and how the staff is treating other people. Are we checking in? And he has this incredible relationship with everybody in the field, and it's awesome.
He must be super fit at this point.
He is. He is.
All right. Are we ready for lightning round?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay. Quick hits. No overthinking. One brand experience you recently loved that is not your own.
I got that. So there is a nutrition brand. It's within our industry. It's called Bear Performance Nutrition. I love some of the things they do and how they involve their community. But this past year, they decided to host an ultra marathon on their ranch, unlike anything else. It wasn't an end-to-end race. It was a last person standing. So you ran until everyone quit, and the last person that was done. And everybody put a chip in the pot, and the person that was the last person standing walked away with the pot. And it's just a tribute. Their ethos is go one more. And it was so aligned with their ethos and who they were. And not only did they have the race, but they recorded a documentary around it and created on that. So in full 360, it was incredible.
Okay. Bess, you want to top that, or?
Sure. Mine's really recent, but with our prep call that we were having the other day, I was having some audio issues and logging in.
I remember.
Coupled with a phone call coming in simultaneously that there was water all over my bathroom. Someone had knocked over a faucet, so I was dealing with like a real-time water situation. So I'm in the car, I'm talking to you guys. At the also very same time, the car breaks down. So I'm on the phone with the plumber, I'm on the phone with you, and then I'm texting Acura, like, can I please come in? I'm not going to make it. And so I get to the dealership. I think I hang up with you guys. I'm still on with the plumber.
Oh.
And Acura hears all this, right? Because they're surmising sort of what my situation is. They give me, without even asking, they lead me to an office, ask me what I need, give me a loaner without, again, even me asking, and say, we hear you. We want to make your day better. Like, let us deal with the car. You go home. We got you. And I was blown away. I mean, I wasn't asking for special treatment, didn't ask for anything because I was just triaging. But that's a real recent example of like really listening and reading between the lines of like a stressful situation.
Right.
So they enabled me to get home. Everything got fixed, thank God. But that was huge of them to see the distress that I was in at the moment and do everything they could to help.
And
But incredibly, no one noticed on our end of the call because
I knew something was up.
but that goes back to the best experiences start with empathy.
That's right. Every time.
Listening. listening. That's the
And
human. You
observing,
don't
seeing-
expect a brand to listen like a human
Right.
being.
No,
like,
they could
a
have just
friend.
been like, "Oh, we'll call you. Have a nice day. Good luck." No, but instead they saw probably just sheer panic on my face and helped me through it. So that was amazing. I got to give Acura huge props.
Saverio?
I'll keep it short. For me, it's the Aura ring. I think it's been it's fairly new. Been wearing it for about 3 months, and now I feel unstoppable. I feel like superhuman. It's remarkable. No, the experience was great. I mean, I think I had the opportunity to see it at an event, have my finger sized, flawless execution in terms of the order, and then how it got delivered to the home, and then the user functionality itself in the app. I never thought I'd be the type to wear a wearable. Just not my thing. I mean, getting used to it took a little bit, but the functionality of the app and actually adding value, I feel like, okay, yeah, I think my sleep is improving, and all right, I need to lower my heart rate before 9 o'clock, right? And what are those steps and help you doing that? So I've enjoyed it thus far. Never thought I'd wear it, and I'm loving it.
Oh, very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Final question. If your brand disappeared tomorrow, what would people miss?
Sorry, simply put, for me, it's a great product at a fantastic value, and again, in an inflationary environment, I think those options are limited more than ever, and so I think they would miss that.
I think they would miss the care, the unique experiences, and the true, genuine hospitality that Hyatt provides.
I think it is the feeling, not just of the workout, but being a part of something bigger. We're a brand who kind of invented the industry, and we've been around for 60 years. And, whenever you're talking to somebody about, hey, I work out here, I work out there, and it comes up, well, where do you work out? Oh, I work out at Gold's. Oh, you must be serious about this.
Yeah.
There's an immediate reaction to it. And so I think that legacy that when you walk in, regardless of if you're in Poughkeepsie, New York, if you're in Paris, France, if you're, in Austin, or if you're in Venice, it's that feeling that, hey, I'm a small but, important part of something that's been going on for a long time.
It's like you must be Arnold. You must be the Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. All right. Well, could everyone thank our brilliant panelists and buy their products, and thank Brand Innovators for
Thank you, Brand
setting this
Innovators.
up. Thank you, guys. And go enjoy whatever happy hour you have next.
Cocktail time.
See y'all.
Yeah.